I just love these boulevards down here, though.
Yeah.
You don't get this in most of L.A.
How come whenever
They're
I'm
all
out here,
gone.
though, I turn on the 11 o'clock news and, I hear, tonight in South Central,
Right.
drive-by shooting, or tonight in South Central,
Yeah.
this, that, or whatever.
Right.
They're not making that up, are they?
No, they're not making it up, but they're choosing what they're covering. If you turn on TV, on the news,
Yeah.
what are you going to hear about? Dangerous black guys, right? Mm-hmm. Unnamed black guy who, accused of some crime, or
Right.
you're going to see pictures of black guys doing bad things and hearing stories about black guys doing bad things. And we've heard this our whole lives.
Now, the suspect is a black male in his 20s. We are told he has a large afro, sideburns. He was wearing a silver chain at the time.
Police say the suspect is a black man, 6'1", 160 to 180 pounds, about 35 years in age.
Suspect is a black male, aged 16 to 18.
The suspect is
African-American. Police
Say that
a black man. Suspect.
Suspect.
Suspect is a black male.
black man.
Black man.
Black male.
Man. Black man.
Susan Smith drowns her 2 children. She tells people a black guy
Right.
stole the car and stole the kids.
Right.
And everyone at first bought it.
Some guy jumped into a red light with her car with her 2 kids in it, and he took off. That's a black guy, she said.
Black male.
Yes, ma'am.
And I told him I loved him. I hollered I loved him.
And it's just a tragedy.
The anonymous, urban, which means usually black, male, comes by and does this is the excuse for all kinds of things.
Charles Stewart, the lawyer in Boston,
Right, exactly.
kills his pregnant wife, says a black guy did it.
Right.
Everybody buys it.
The suspect, described as a black male about 6 feet tall. Chuck and Carol Stewart were robbed at gunpoint as they left a Lamaze class. It seemed the ultimate urban nightmare.
The thing I love about this country of mine is that whether you're a psychotic killer or running for president of the United States, the one thing you can always count on is white America's fear of the black man.
We've heard the stories on the news and in the papers, and they have killed people. Killer bees, also known as Africanized bees.
I'm scared. I'm really worried with them.
Rosemary Shibley never expected a nest of Africanized killer bees to shack up across the street from her.
But I'm terribly allergic to them, and so are my grandkids.
They're originally from southern and eastern Africa. Dr. Warwick Kerr brought some to Brazil in 1956 and tried to mate them with the European bee, the kind that we're used to. But they got loose, took over, and moved all the way to the southern United States. The main difference between a traditional honeybee and an Africanized bee is the bee's aggressiveness. If I was to do this to an Africanized bee's hive, I could have several hundred stings in a matter of minutes. Danny Self raises the kinder, gentler European bees, and he's done the research.
The only way that you can tell the 2 of them is doing measurements on the body parts.
Quite frankly, the black community has become entertainment for the rest of the community.
Meaning what?
The entertainment being that the crime of the day, if it bleeds, it leads, gets to be the front story, and then that becomes the perception and the image of an entire people, which couldn't be further from the truth, in my opinion. In fact, you'll find, I think most African Americans are quite adverse to gun possession. In suburbia, I think there's some notion that there's going to be an invading horde come from either the city or from someplace unknown to savage their suburban community. To me, it not only is it bizarre, but it's totally unfounded. And these pistols, curiously enough, weren't being taken off of kids in the city of Flint, but were being taken off of kids out in the out county area in the suburban communities.
I didn't think that's what you were going to say. I thought you were going to say that it's all these black kids in the inner city schools. They had these guns.
No, we've never really had many problems with the guns in the city. I mean, and not to say that we haven't, but we've had some. But that's never been the biggest problem. The biggest problem has been the gun possession by these adolescents in suburbia.
How'd you get a gun?
I stole mine.
Where'd you steal it from?
I stole it from a friend of mine.
Where'd he get it?
His dad owns a bunch of guns.
What were you doing with the stolen guns?
We went down to Detroit to try to sell them because I can get like $1.50 a pop for a 9mm.
Really? Yeah. Who are you trying to sell them to?
Anybody that would really want them. Mostly gangs and stuff like that.
Gangs in the city of Detroit?
Yeah.
Black?
Predominantly.
Yeah. So you're out now, you're okay?
Yeah, I'm free now. I'm completely clear.
You can keep selling guns?
Well, I can't really keep selling guns. It's getting too risky, man. Everybody knows me up here. You know, people want guns or drugs or alcohol. They come to my house, and that's just too much.
Yeah, too much hassle.
Yeah.
My favorite statistic in all the research I did discovered that the murder rate had gone down by 20%. The coverage, that is how many murders are on the evening news, it went up by 600%.
The American people are conditioned by network TV, by local news, to believe that their communities are much more dangerous than they actually are. For example, here in this community, crime has decreased every year for the past 8 years, yet gun ownership, particularly handgun ownership, is on the increase.
Crime rates have been dropping. Fear of crime has been going up. How can that be possible? It doesn't make any sense. But it makes perfect sense when you see what we're hearing from politicians and seeing in the news media.
So we're right here on the corner of Florence and Normandy. This was kind of ground zero for the LA riots.
Right. You know, if a couple of white guys go down and walk around South Central, they're going to get killed, which I can tell you is a common perception. The odds that something's going to happen to us are really, really slight, minuscule.
Right. Okay.
But you know, if you look up there, you get a different symbol of the Hollywood sign. It means something very different than the corner of Florence and Normandy for most Americans and most of the world. You know, it means glamour and Hollywood, except that we can't see it.
I can't see the Hollywood sign.
Right.
Where is it?
Right. You can't see it because of something that's probably much more dangerous for us right now, which is the stuff we're breathing.
The pollution that's blocking the Hollywood sign. We're breathing this.
That's far more dangerous than all the other stuff the media is telling us to be afraid of.
Right.
As we left the corner of Florence and Normandy, I noticed that a number of helicopters had appeared in the sky. Within seconds, the news media started to arrive.
So what's the story here?
I'm waiting. I thought you would know.
No, I don't know anything.
Sergeant just told me it was a cop with a guy with a gun, but they're not sure. That's all they told me.
Right.
So no action, like getting the camera down.
I just happened to see the chopper. I'm going to another story.
What story are you going to?
It's a near drowning.
It's a drowning?
Near drowning.
A near drowning. Yeah. How about the story about how you can't see the Hollywood Hills because of the pollution? Could you maybe do a story on that tonight?
Pollution is probably good.
Huh?
You probably good. You can't see it. You can't see anything around here.
If you have to choose between a guy with a gun and a near drowning of a baby, you can only be one place at one time. Which way the gun? You go with a gun always. Go with a gun. Is it all over here? All over? All over?
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet?
Say, just wait for these sergeants down here.
Yeah.
To come down because they got all the details.
Okay. Hey, I'm just wondering, I just got here to LA today. I can't see the Hollywood sign down in the hills there, down Normandy. I can't see the sign because of the pollution.
Right.
Is there anybody you can go and arrest for polluting up the air?
Absolutely not.
Nobody?
No.
Why is that? Why is that, Sergeant?
Oh, you fought him.
For over a decade, there has been one show on American television that has consistently brought black and white people together in an effort to reduce our fears and celebrate our diversity. That show is Cops. I went to see a former producer of Cops and executive producer of World's Wildest Police Videos, Mr. Dick Herland.
You look liberal up in the dictionary, and I think my picture's in there somewhere. But, yeah.
So then, why not be compelled to do, a show that focuses on, what's causing the crime as opposed to just chasing the criminals down?
Because I think it's harder to do that show. I don't know what that show would be. Anger does well, hate does well, violence does well. Tolerance and understanding and trying to learn to be a little different than you were last year does less well.
Does less well in the ratings.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe because we, in the television business, because we tend to demonize black and Hispanic people, then those watching it at home are going, I don't want to help those people. I'm not going to do anything to help them because I hate them now because they may hurt me. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I'm not sure that's what we're doing. I'm not sure we're demonizing black and Hispanic people, particularly. I don't think we show black and Hispanic people as being criminals. I'd like to say not more often, but probably they are more often. But I certainly don't think we're we're certainly not trying to demonize black and Hispanic people.
We show them on the news, we show them on TV as pretty scary people.
Yeah. And I agree. I think I'd like to see that reversed as much as possible.
Start tonight.
Well, the thing is, I don't know how to start tonight. I don't know how to tell that story.
Well,
if I was smart enough to do that.
I'll pitch you one.
Okay.
Pitch you one, okay?
All right.
Do a show called, not Cops, but Corporate Cops.
Oh, corporation man, hey, corporate man, we're coming out to get you, better run while you can. We're coming out to get you, better run while you can.
I love the idea. I don't think it would make very interesting reality TV. Unless we can get those people to get in their SUVs and drive really fast down the road away from the police.
But I'm telling you, everyone in America who's got just your basic everyday, job is going to love watching the boss being chased down the street with his shirt off, thrown to the ground and a knee to the neck. I'm telling you, that is going to get ratings.
I'm with you. And if I can find a police outfit that would prosecute corporate criminals appropriately and would go after them appropriately. In other words, what you do to a man who's just stolen a lady's purse with $85 to it, then you need to do an appropriate response to a man who's just stolen $85 million from indigent people. Then, boy, we're going to be out there filming that. But as a matter of fact, when police go after the guy who's just stolen $85 million, they treat him like he was a member of the city council, as he may or may not be, and it's not exciting television. If you could get that guy to take his shirt off,
right,
yeah, and throw his cellular phone at the police as they come through the door, try to jump out that window, then we'd have a show. You watch violence on TV in a place like Canada, and you know it's not happening next door. You watch it here, and you know it is happening next door.
Right.
I think that's. I don't know what the difference is, but there's a big difference.
Yeah, why isn't it though? Why isn't it happening in Canada? Why aren't there, 10,000 murders a year?
I don't know, but I want to go to Canada to retire or something because it sounds like where we want to be. I'd like to find out what that difference is, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'm trying to find out.